Hi everyone, I wanted to share with you some quick little stocking stuffers that I made tonight, and I used one sheet of 12x12 paper, a stack of 4x6 notepads, and these are from Office Max, and they're scratch pads. They're 4x6, 16-pound weight paper, and there's 100 sheets in each one, and there were 12 to a pack. So I just used 6, or I'm going to use 6. The one sheet of paper is the Tim Holtz Distress Craft Resist pack, and it's the one that has all the definitions and numbers. And I did not color it up, I just left it as natural craft because I wanted to use some of the leftovers in my stash. So let me show you what that looks like, what the process is. This is the completed one. It's not very fancy, and there's not a lot of embellishments because I want it to be utilitarian. You know, sometimes you just need a scrap piece of paper. Technology is great, but sometimes you really do need a little scrap piece of paper. So here are the other 5 notepads, and this is what they look like. There's no cover. They're on a lightweight chipboard back, gum tops, so as you pull off, you know, that peels away. And it's just, you know, lightweight paper. So I'm going to do one, I'm going to show you one from start to finish. So this is what it's going to look like in the end. What I did is I took the 12x12 craft cardstock piece of paper and I went to use my DreamKuts. However, I don't know if anyone else has run into this. Not all 12x12 paper is actually 12x12. Some is 11 and 15/16, some is even smaller than that, some is larger than 12x12. Well, the Tim Holtz paper happens to be larger than 12x12, so I actually did have to trim a little off in order to get the true 4x6 to run through my DreamKuts machine. And I ran it through the 3 cuts, and it cut all 6 for me from one sheet. No waste. This is the only thing that I had to trim off beforehand. And that's really because in manufacturing there's a little bit give and take. So I have this all set, so I'm going to grab one and show you how, you know, the steps for the cover. So I went into my little Ziploc bag of scraps, and I found a piece of scrap that I was able to cut into 4 by, I think, 3 1/4. Let me just double check. Yep, so it's 4 by 3 1/4. Then I had some craft paper, and I think this is 1.5 inches, which I ran through my crimper. And this is a cheapo little crimper. I think it was like $5 or $6. And I ran this through twice, one lengthwise, once vertically, so it gives you a little weave, just for texture. And the black is cover stock for reports, and I've been using that same stash for forever. I'm kind of getting low, so I might have to check out the little place where I got it for, I think, $5 or $6 for 500 sheets, which has lasted me quite some time. So then I took this to my Martha Stewart scoreboard. I'm not going to pull this out because if I pull it, there'll be an avalanche behind me. Plus I've already scored all of them. And I've already folded every one except this one, so I wanted to show you how they're folded. So the immediate score line is right at the edge of the craft layer because that's going to be in the front. And then this is the depth of the notepad, which is going to be the top of the hinge. And this is the back. So this is wherever, you know, depending on if you reproduce these, whatever you decide to put on the front as decorative at the edge, and then you need to score 3/8 of an inch after that, because that's the width of the spine, at least for these particular notepads. And if you need to make adjustments for whatever you end up picking up, that's all you need to do is you need to measure this and then score that same width, maybe giving yourself a little bit, just a tiny little bit, for the, you know, the thickness of the cardstock. And then all I'm going to do is fold and run my, and because it's nice heavy cover stock, it folds really nicely, the crisp edges. See? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this, the front, to the tab, and then this to the notepad. So I need to add adhesive, and I'm going to use my favorite cheapo adhesive, and I saved one in a package so I can show you which one it is. It's this basic product. Actually, no, this is the mounting tape. Never mind. What is that? It's also from Basic, but it's kind of grungy looking because it keeps falling on the floor. But that's essentially it. It's it doesn't say what it is, but it is the Basic you see in the inside. So I'm just gonna cut enough of it to put on the back and on the front. I'm going to leave the crease that would fall on the spine free. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want the movement. If I adhere it here, whenever you would go to rip it off, it would try to rip here and it could kind of destroy that. So it's just easier not to adhere it there. So just grab my scissors and cut a strip. And again, this might appear awkward because I'm doing this from behind the camera, but you'll want to do it from edge to edge. I found that ATG tape is just not strong enough, so I want something stronger. You could use red line tape, but this actually is holding up quite nicely. And I am cutting it pretty close. I want it to be right to the edge. And I might actually run some score tape in addition to make sure that I'm getting complete coverage. I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to use a piece of score tape right here because this one's a little too wide and I'm using 1/2 inch score tape. Sorry for the crinkling. So I thought these might be kind of quick to produce. Once I've cut everything, it's easy to put together. And they're easy to have in, like, you know, that kitchen junk drawer everybody has. And then inevitably you just need to reach for a piece of paper. Kind of last minute. I'm usually trying to convert recipes. See, I told you there'd be an avalanche. Trying to convert recipes from ounces and grams. So sometimes I just need to little piece of sketch notepad, or my husband will call me with some requests that he needs, and rather than forget, because it's easy to, especially if you're getting interrupted during your work day, I want to make sure I don't forget. So I might keep one of these for myself or make one for myself. So I just want to make sure that I have the print going in the correct direction. This is going to be the front. So the easiest way that I found to line this up is to turn this upside down and then take the paper, right, the correct side, and then line it up. I don't know if you could see it. I'm lining it up with the crease, the inside crease, because of DreamKuts, the cuts are very precise. So there you go. So that's the front. Look at that, like pristine. I love the fact that it works out. So, I mean, anything you would be mass producing, the DreamKuts is perfect for. And see, that fits perfectly. So now I'm just going to peel off this back panel. And I know Yoli always uses her tweezers. Let me try that. I don't know what it is. I think I I guess I'm a nail girl. I appreciate her being so adept at using those, but I'm just not. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to put this face down, take my notepad because I'm attaching the back, and then line it up with the crease, and then fold it. Oh, did I just miss? I might have just missed it. And you know this tape cures, so you do have a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. Again, I'm behind the camera, so it's a little less. Come on. Alright, you won't have this trouble because you'll be able to look down and line it up accurately. Before I press down, I'm gonna make sure it's aligned. There you go. And now you can decorate it whichever way you'd like. I used the Cuttlebug dies that I've been using on several projects for the numbers and this little phone. I was going to use this little light bulb. Let me show you. I did cut it out, but it's so stinking tiny, especially its little piece. See, like the little. How in the world are you supposed to attach it to anything? Really? Like the individual pieces cut out? It's cute and all, but totally impractical for use, real world use, so I just use the little telephone icon. It's not really going to be a phone book, but you get the idea. So there you go. Really quick stocking stuffers. You can decorate them up as much as you want. Let's say if you have a frilly person you want to give it to, you know, flowers, lace, ribbons, whatever you want. Most of my recipients are utilitarian like I am, so they're just going to be getting this practical one. And when you do use it, you could totally fold this back so it lies flat, which is the perfect part, you know, so it's completely functional. So there you go. If you have any questions about any of the dimensions or any of the products I used, oh, that I did want to mention, this tiny little intricate cuts I attached using this quickie glue from Sakura. And it writes like a pen. Has a little safety nib to prevent it from drying out. And you just write with it. So that's what I used for the tiny little elements like this, especially these little thin ones so the glue is not oozing out everywhere. There you go. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned. I think I have one more idea for our quick stocking stuffers.